Would be $30.
But speaking of Trump, so the Trump administration is trying to take over an airline and help the airline
I
out.
don't like it. I don't like it. So if you all don't know by now, Spirit is all but broke. They they have been trying to file bankruptcy,
They
and
filed twice.
yeah, I was gonna say I think they filed twice, and now they're asking the government to basically bail them out in the form of, like, buy a share or two.
Yeah.
So the Trump administration is in advanced talks for a potential $500 million rescue package
Yes.
for Spirit Airlines. And I don't like it because if I was filing for bankruptcy, they wouldn't give me a dime.
Yeah, and this is obviously we're saying Trump administration,
The
and people
government.
are seeing Trump, but this is your money. This is
This
taxpayer
is
money.
yeah.
Now, okay, the reason I don't think this is a Trump issue. I think I'm gonna blame Biden for this one because Biden blocked the JetBlue and the Trump. I mean, not
In the
in the
Spirit.
Spirit acquisition. They were trying to merge. When Biden was in office, he blocked it.
Hmm.
That sent JetBlue. JetBlue is struggling and potentially about to go bankrupt. There was rumors about them going bankrupt, even though the CEO said it's not going to be this year. But I mean,
Eventually.
eventually they're going to go bankrupt. They got too much debt. I think $7 billion in debt. But Spirit got blocked. That merger should have went through. And I believe that merger should have went through because the way gas prices and oil prices and all this inflation is going, Spirit was never going to be able to survive off those $19 flights. They were going to have to merge, streamline the process, cut some costs, and save those jobs. But now, and the reason I like Spirit, now I don't like our money funding this, right?
At all.
But the reason I need Spirit Airlines and JetBlue to stay in business is because it keeps the other airlines in check with their pricing power. Delta has to have a $250 option, even though it's 2 months out.
I
But that's
know.
still a good option.
You really got to know where you're going.
I got a flight on Delta for $79 like 2 weeks ago. But again, it's in it's in late June.
See?
But that's still a Spirit type deal.
Yeah.
And they only would do that if JetBlue, if Frontier is in business. But as long as those airlines go out of business, they can go up. Like
It
Spirit
keeps
is
them
kind of
from-
like the Walmart of the industry. You need Walmart to keep all these other companies in check. You need Amazon to keep these other companies on their toes in check. If you don't have that low cost, quick, fast delivery person in the industry, if you don't have a Tubi, for example, if I don't have Tubi, if I don't have
I
YouTube,
do like a Tubi.
Tubi is good for the industry
I like a
because
Tubi
it's
movie.
a free for the people who ain't got no money. You can still watch Tubi.
Yes, but also even if you got a little, you gotta have a little bit of change. Tubi is good for like your very niche kind. Like we watched Jason's Lyric on Tubi, which
Yeah.
I ain't seen a Jason's Lyric
But-
in years.
But you need a low cost carrier in this industry to keep prices down because Delta have extreme pricing power.
Yeah.
United have extreme pricing power.
well,
American
what about
has extreme.
Frontier? Frontier will still be there, right?
Yeah, but I think it's gonna put pressure on Frontier.
So
Like,
here's
they're not doing as good as everybody thinks as well.
here's my take on it. My take is that when they saw that they were in trouble, both JetBlue and Spirit, they didn't change anything. I think the only thing they changed was they got harsher on the like one bag policy and the size of it to the
Yeah.
point where people were like going to blows
But-
at the counter to go into their
Yeah.
to their flight. And so my thing is this, not for nothing. I understand what you're saying about the Walmarts and I understand what you're saying about the Spirits. But sometimes Walmart is a little too inviting and you don't really want to be around everybody. So you go to like a little something a little upscale, right?
Right.
Something else, maybe a TJ Maxx or maybe I don't know if that's a good comparison, but you go somewhere else. For Spirit, kind of the same thing. It's like I don't want to be treated like that. Like they
But if
were
you only
they were
paying
going
$19, you willing to get treated like
my
whatever, right?
so that's my thing. Like I started to buy more expensive flights because I deserve to be whether
Okay,
it's
what's an
$19 or
expensive flight? What's
$150.
expensive?
I said more expensive,
No, I'm
right?
saying like what's more
Okay.
expensive? Like what's the give me a dollar amount
Okay, so if I was going back home to Trenton for like $60, I
on Spirit?
on Spirit, if I was going there for $60, I'll pay 120. I'll pay double to not go to
On
not be
Delta?
treated anywhere on
Oh, okay.
on any.
Well, I guess you kind of making my point though. The only reason you can find a flight that's 140 or 150 on these other airlines is because it's 15 or 20 or $40 on Spirit. So that the company's like, well, I can't do $40, but I can do 140. I can do 160. So that's why even if Spirit is struggling,
Yeah.
we still need it in the marketplace. I don't like the fact that it's 500 million coming from the tax
No, that's
dollars,
crazy.
but I do think we do need a Spirit Airlines
But
and a low cost airlines in the industry to keep these other people in check. I
but
don't want to.
James, isn't that up to Spirit and JetBlue to keep their businesses afloat? Like, I'm not saying that they had to up the price. I'm saying that hey, people are complaining about your service. People don't like your baggage situation. Like, isn't it up to the businesses to keep their businesses profitable?
Well, when you're the Trump administration, you're part of the problem why they're going out of business because you got this war in Iran. Fuel costs is up, so this is why this is you kind of being like, I'm sorry, I gotta do this, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna let y'all I'm gonna give y'all a lifeline to get through this. But that is one of the reasons they don't. Spirit
Then
doesn't have the pricing power that Delta, United, and all these other ones have. So if Spirit goes up to $200-300, most people are just probably not gonna go.
no, not for their
If
service.
Delta goes up an extra $100, people are just gonna grunt and pay the extra hundred
They
dollars.
have great service.
They have great service, but they also have a premium clientele. Spirit doesn't because they're selling $20 flights. So the $20 flight person, the person who's looking at into that, they're probably just not going to go if the flight is $300-400, which Spirit is going to go out of business anyway. So Spirit is kind of like they
You're
in a
saying that
bad business
they're
model.
in
Period.
yeah, you're saying they're in a rock and a hard place because their revenue is not enough to weather the storm of the fuel prices being higher. Probably some of their imports. Who knows if like plane parts come from different
But
places? Blah blah blah.
and in an airline, you can't just scale up like that fast. So it's regulation. If you want, let's say Spirit wanted to add 3 new lines from Atlanta to Detroit, they can't just do that overnight. They gotta buy those from a JetBlue or Frontier or somebody. Somebody has to be selling it, right? They can't just go. Oh, I want 2 planes. I'm gonna go get them tomorrow. No, they gotta get them from somewhere else. So the way you scale in aviation is through mergers and acquisitions. So this is why I didn't like the Biden administration blocking them from merging with JetBlue is because I thought that would make a bigger competitor to the Deltas, to the Americans, to the Uniteds who were getting out of hand with all this inflation pricing, and it would make Spirit a bigger competitor. So on some of those routes going up to New York, some of those routes going to the Midwest, going to the West Coast, Spirit would have more to offer. I don't know if the company would be Spirit or JetBlue.
Yeah,
they
whatever.
whatever. Right. That totality of that company would have more to offer, and it would put pressure on the big boys. Spirit is never going to become a big boy, but just having that little, petty, little competitor over there that you got to watch out for keeps the big boys
Yeah,
in check, and that's
because they're
why.
breathing down your neck.
Yeah, you need those low cost. You need to pay less to keep Foot Locker in check.
Well, then, if anything, then that's what this administration should do. They should. But I read
Well, I
somewhere
think they
that
too in too
that
much
JetBlue,
financial
yeah, that they
trouble
can't
now.
even merge anymore,
Yeah,
or
I don't
that
think
JetBlue
it's.
wasn't interested in acquiring Spirit anymore. It was something like that. I don't even think they're interested in
I
each
don't
other
even think they
anymore.
have the. I don't think they have the money, or like it's too much financial strain now.
Hmm.
Maybe they could do it with the $500 million
I was about to
package,
say, but that's almost
but
not fair because what you gonna bail out Spirit and not JetBlue? Like, I don't
yeah.
know. Like, I don't like any of this.
So would you would just let them go out of business?
It's capitalism, baby. Like
Nah, you can't
that's
do
what y'all
that.
talk about. You take the
Nah,
risk. No, there ain't nobody mad at
nah,
none.
you
It's
can't.
capitalism. Ain't no bailouts around here.
But
And
that's going to affect your flight to Jersey. Now Delta is going to be charging you 300-400 instead of the 200 because you don't even have a choice.
it's gonna make me have to be more creative with either one, I'm gonna have to be either more responsible and book ahead of time,
Okay, I
or
can
I'm
see
gonna
that.
have to be more creative and learn how to take the train. Like
You're going to be on there for 19 hours.
I love a good train ride now. I
I
love a
haven't
good
rode the
train
train. I
ride.
never rode the train
What?
that far. I mean, I
No.
did like cross city. I might have
And you
did
can't
from
really.
Saginaw to Detroit or
I was
something
about to
like
say
that,
you
but
can't
I ain't
really
never
do
did
it
no.
from Georgia because Atlanta's inland,
Well,
but the train is on the coast. So I could do Trenton to DC and it take like an hour and a half or something like that.
Right. So,
Yeah,
well,
Amtrak.
I never did. I actually never been on the train. I'm thinking about like it's a Greyhound. I did the
Oh,
bus. Yeah, I
okay,
did the
yeah, I've
Greyhound.
done that too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I feel like, or you're just going to have to think ahead of time. I
I
don't
feel
know.
you. I just don't like. I don't like
It's
us
a
our
messed up.
tax
Yeah.
dollars. I don't like our tax dollars being used. But if it's gonna be used for anything, it's already being used to fight a war. So if we can get Iran and all these other people billions of our dollars, we can give Spirit 500 to keep them to keep Delta in check. Cause I like flying Delta, but I'm always looking at that Spirit app to make sure I'm getting a good price on Delta. So
Mm.
thank you guys for watching. In order to continue to support independent journalism, I need you to subscribe down to the page below. And if you want the full podcast and more exclusive content, I need you to subscribe to the Patreon. Link is in the description.